just wanted to make a quick video to kind of update everybody on how the Matrix M1 and M2 are holding up after, basically I've had this one for about a year and a half and this one for right around a year. Just for your reference, I shoot a lot. Like I'm probably 6 days a week and I shoot between 50 and 100 arrows every time I come out and shoot. So I shoot more, probably more than most people, I would say. The M2, I have destroyed one cell up in the corner here where I basically blew through the front and blew through the back. Now that cell was originally in the center, but then just like the Matrix system is designed to do, I rotated it out up to a corner. When I tend to miss left. So that's another kind of a real quick hack. If you tend to miss left, don't put this vacant cell that's not going to do as good a job stopping an arrow, don't put it on the side where you generally miss. I very, very rarely miss up and to the right. So that's why that goes up there and I've had no problems. Based on this, you can see I also very rarely miss to the top up left. I tend to miss to the left and then down, which is why you can see these cells kind of destroyed here. I was so impressed with the M2 that I bought the M1 as well. I paid full price for both of these. The M1 is, I've destroyed one cell and I moved it down to the bottom right, and I'm almost on the point where I've destroyed the second cell. About 2 months ago, I switched over to using broadheads. I'm shooting the Iron Will solids, the Iron Will wides, and then I've also been shooting a 180 grain Valkyrie. It's designed to rip through an animal, and this is what it starts to do to your target over time. It doesn't matter what medium you're shooting broadheads into. Once they start crossing up, you're gonna have huge chunks that are getting ripped out of your target. Like, this is just what's going to happen. The stopping power of these is a wonderful balance. The arrow goes in just deep enough that it stops and gets a good solid stopping point, and then the extraction of the arrow is really nice. It's not too hard to pull them out, and it's not so soft that the arrow is just burying completely through the target every single time you shoot. So it's a really good balance. The reason I bought the larger M1 target was I knew that I wanted to start doing some more distance shooting. And because you've got this full width here, and I know that I can always shoot at the middle of the target, it's huge. Like, it's such a big deal because I know that I'm not gonna go back up to 100 yards and go shoot at like a Reinhardt 18-1, which I just happen to be sitting on right now. I'm not gonna do that because there is a decent chance that probably 1 out of 10 arrows is gonna go off to the left, because it's like I said, I tend to miss to the left. So I don't wanna be putting my arrows through my backdrop mat here every single time. There's too much risk to breaking the arrow, ripping off fletchings. But with the M1 and the size of this target and the fact that, again, I can always rotate these modules out and continue to shoot at the middle of the target, huge deal for me. I mean, it was honestly, I don't want to say that it was a game changer, but it was almost a game changer, like legitimately a huge deal. A couple of the bad things that I've noticed about the target are things that I don't like about them. They come with straps that go around the entire target. Both of them have two. They're not a ratchet strap, but it's kind of a friction strap with an actual handle on the top. And I tend to hang the target from that handle. When you hang the target from the handle, the buckles raise up and they become more of a flat target that has seen arrows go through it. So I've shot arrows through the M1 strap and the M2 strap. So basically, right off the bat, were I to order a third target, I think right from the front end, I'm going to replace it with ratchet straps, and I'm going to take the ratchet strap and I'm going to put the buckle on that side that I don't tend to miss on. I'm going to put that ratchet strap on the upper right-hand side, which is exactly what I've done on the M1 here, and it's held up fine. I know the people at Matrix are probably like, you can't, you're not supposed to ratchet the density of the foam and the blah, blah, blah. But I'm just telling you what I would do. Another hack to make these targets last longer, and this is real science-y. Just turn the target slightly. because what you've now ended up doing is when you've got that hole in the foam, you've just turned that to kind of close that hole off a little bit, and now you're sending arrows over into the back corner of one of these squares on this, or one of the back corners of one of the hexagons. That's what I did up here, and you can really pulverize one of those cells on the target. Another cool thing about Matrix is they sell the actual individual cells, you know, by themselves. So you can order one of them. They're kind of expensive as a replacement, but I think once I ruin one more cell, it's going to become a little bit kind of tough to keep this together, just because, again, the structural integrity is so compromised. But I think that it will be worth, at that point, ordering one or two more cells for this. And the actual structural integrity of the M1 is holding up better, and I think it's because they've got these outside pads. And I actually talked to Kevin at Matrix, and he talked about why they did this M1 this way, and it was to kind of create a structure engineering, again, stuff where, you know, these different points that are on here are actually holding together. So I've been impressed with the M1. So the other downside of the Matrix targets is they're expensive. Like, it's really expensive. I shoot a ton, and literally these targets, I would have 100% worn through a block target by right now. I have 3 block targets that are sitting random places on the farm, and they have the exact same holes in them. You shoot through the center of the square, you rotate the square, you start shooting through the center, and then that one blows out, and what you have created is this huge void in the middle of the target. So what I've started doing is I'll turn it where I'm shooting at an actual corner, like the actual pointy part on the block, but quickly that's going to tear through, and you're just creating this huge void in the center. That obviously is not happening with the Matrix targets. Once you get done shooting one side, where maybe you've kind of worn this out a little bit, you can actually flip the whole target around and shoot at the other side. They've designed it so that the arrows are supposed to go in pretty close to halfway and stop. So you're still going to get some shootability out of that back side. Not some shootability, a lot of shootability. And then once that's destroyed, then you rotate that cell out. It's kind of a buy once, cry once type of scenario. These targets are going to last a normal shooter who's going out maybe once a week, twice a week. They're going to last you for 5 years, easy. Like, these are going to be something that are able to sit out. That's the other thing. I don't protect these. I've had them sitting on dirt. I've had them sitting in the yard. I've had them hanging. Right now, they're under a ultraviolet plexiglass cover so that you can actually see the light that's coming in. So I can shoot later because I don't have a hard surface roof over the top of this. It's a clear plexiglass. But these, they've been sitting out and then just been in the elements getting destroyed. Tons of humidity. We get lots of rain. Obviously, we get cold. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on how these are holding up. I still am impressed with them, and if I buy another target in the future for home use, I will definitely buy another Matrix. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's probably lots of other good features that I'm missing about the Matrix targets, but I think overall, as an update, I'm super impressed with them. I will definitely buy another Matrix in the future if I ever have the need to. This is definitely a product that I recommend after having 2 of the targets for a year and a half and a year. Just a quick and dirty video. Just kind of wanted to update everybody on this. Thank y'all for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.